Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for Monday, the 18th of April 2016. So Friday, a very, very quiet day, and no surprise really with the G20 meeting and the OPEC meeting in Doha to see who's brave enough to reduce their oil production in order to force up prices. No doubt we'll see more of that by the end of today, but don't hold your breath with that one as well, because the latest news on that is that the Iranians have said not a chance, which means that of course the Saudis and everybody else will continue to keep the production up, which will see crude oil move lower, which I think we did on Friday. Let me just have a quick look here. There you go. You can see that crude oil down on Friday. So this is the excuse they've been using in order to drive the stock market higher, and depending on the outcome of that today, then we'll see what happens with regards to using that as an excuse to move stocks higher. So Friday I sent a note out. It was that quiet. We were barely getting 5 or 6 points in some of these bars. The market did move, and apart from the first one, the rest were winning trades. But as I said, I was standing aside. But had you have traded, you can see there that there was a way of recouping what was lost on the first trade. But it was just too painful to actually watch, especially when you're looking through the sort of official quiet time there. It is just desperate through there. So we need some more volatility to get this market moving. And when you look at the daily chart, you can see how quiet it really was. Market sideways, needs to take out Thursday's high, which it hasn't done yet. I'll just draw in the high for you so you can see where it is. That's all going to be determined, of course, by what happens over the next few hours as the G20 meeting closes, and also the OPEC meeting in Doha. I think it's an OPEC meeting anyway, but I know the meeting about oil, so the two generally go hand in hand. Very low volume as well, just keep an eye on that. This market is levitating on fresh air, but then again there is absolutely no surprise whatsoever, because I found this brilliant article on Zero Hedge called How 2 Janet Yellen Phone Calls Save the World. And apparently on February the 11th, which happens to be the bottom of this move here, you can see there we got the 10th of February there's the 11th, and you can see how the market then moved higher from there. It transpires that Mrs. Yellen decided to have a phone call with Carney, or Barmy Carney, and then Super Mario, and we can see what happened. We've had the bottom of the market in ever since then, and the market has continued to move higher. And the reason for this is the Dow was getting close to those August lows, which I was talking about at the time. And it's been very, very strange and surreal why this market has continued to move higher. There's the August low. So you can see we were just getting into the territory to actually break. And had we broken, we'd have gone through the August lows and continued lower. So we've just got the blatant and now confirmed manipulation of the stock market there. You can see how it's been pumped back by the POMO, completely rigged Ponzi scheme that is ready to come off at some point, and that some point is, in my opinion, very close because of the implied volatility, which we'll look at in a moment. But again, look at how the volume is actually dropping off in this market. So we are at a critical juncture in this market, and again, if we have a look at the implied volatility, you can see there 1142. This dropping off nicely, just up slightly on Friday there because of the down move in the market. Even though it was just a slow grind to the downside, it was enough just to show an uptick. But look at the historic volatility right down in the lows now. So it's just a matter of time. This has never failed to see a massive spike, as you can see there, as we had in August. We already have the weakness in the background, but this market has been held and brought back each time. There is no reason whatsoever that this market should be trading at these levels. Just before I conclude, let's just have a quick look at news. It's Sunday, so I can't show in the software. Let's just have a quick look on the old Forex Factory website there. Doha Oil Summit is all day today. Dudley's being wheeled out tomorrow. And then we've got building permits. There's not a lot out this week, is there? Blimey, that's very quiet. Nothing at all on Friday. And I'm just looking to see it. No, absolutely. This is the quiet week of the month then, before we get back to the non-farm pay figures and FOMC statement. I think that'll be coming out next week, won't it? Let's just have a look. We must be due back for that. Yeah, FOMC statement next week, and then we get the employment. No, it'll be the week after for the non-farm pay. They generally follow a week after. So this week could be a bit of a tough one. Looking at this, there's not a lot to actually be released there, so again, keep that in mind. Just having a look to see if there's anything really. Crude oil inventories on Wednesday, but of course that's going to tie in with what happens here. So really, it's going to kick off today or overnight, and the FOMC Dudley being wheeled out tomorrow at 1:30 will give the market a bit of a kick as well, probably to the upside, because that's what Dudley's job is to do. Come out and say everything's fine, no problems in the system, etc., etc. The usual rhetoric and nonsense. And then Tuesday, building permits. Again, nothing really major to move the markets at all. Philly Fed either. So we'll just have to wait and see. And the Philly Fed actually is forecast, as it has been for a long time, to move to the downside. You can see how that's come off. Manufacturing has dropped. There's a spike last month, but other than that, that also is heading to the downside there. So an interesting picture emerging there. All of the main economic news data is appalling, apart from the labour figures, which is what Yellen has been using to justify when she moved rates in December. Right, well, that's really it so far. We could expect more of the same, really. Nothing we can do about that. Our hands are tied. Like I say, you might get a bit of volatility following the crude oil meeting that concludes today, and then Dudley tomorrow. So we'll have to take a view on Tuesday, see what's around to move the markets. Other than that, I will see you then. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.